Hey everyone, bless up. It's Karen again with Naturally with Karen. And I'm coming live today to talk about the difference between treating and healing. Now, as an elder, shaman, coach, someone who's worked with my own healing and also for many, many others, thousands of hours a year, and really developing into what I know over the last 34 years. I've found that there is a really big difference between treating and healing. So, what's really the difference? In the Western allopathic medical industry, we go into a room typically and our vitals are taken, our blood pressure, maybe our body temperature, perhaps our oxygen levels, and they're recorded down as our vital signs. The doctor then, or the nurse practitioner, or the physician's assistant will come into the room where you're waiting in a private room, usually with the door shut, usually with a white coat on, often with the accoutrements like a stethoscope, and with no disrespect, but a very, very different way than how I have learned over a lifetime. And that person, a male or a female, a doctor of some sort, comes in and asks you, what's going on? How can I help you today? And at that time, you are typically saying, well, this is what's going on with me. It's my stomach, or, I've been constipated forever, or I get a lot of headaches. I just don't feel well. I don't feel right. Something doesn't feel good. I need something to take this away. And the way the American Medical Association views things, views symptoms and syndromes, is very different than how the old ways would interpret something. So let's get into that. So the doctor is going to get on their computer, like I'm doing your live stream on right now, and sort of plug in what's going on and either make an assumption or definitely knows what's going on because they've dealt with it a million times. It's more than likely hypoglycemic or pre-diabetic. It's more than likely they're going to rule out lupus, or they're going to rule out an aneurysm in your lungs, or something that they see all the time. For quite a while, it was IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So the doctor is going to proceed, and in that vein, they're going to look at either blood laboratory testing, blood serum through your arm, urine analysis that you're going to, urinate in a cup and hand it over and get it tested. Or perhaps you might be sent to get one of the scans, an MRI, a CT scan. You might get your electricity measured, which is an EKG or an EEG, right? The cardiogram, the heart, or the electroencephalogram in the brain. Maybe you'll get a TEE, right? Which is a heart. It basically is to go in through the esophagus and be able to check out your cardiac function. So in any of those instances, you then wait for what your diagnosis is going to be, or how you're going to be treated. So you're either going to go to the pharmacy, you're going to be pending ultrasound or other scanning like we just talked about results, right? And we're going to look to the blood to see if it's within the ranges. Ranges are standardized by the insurance companies. They're allegedly based on research. That's not always my conclusion on that. I think they're also pharmaceutical driven. So we get those things all lined up, and then that's going to determine whether or not you're going to be treated. It seems that based on 16 years in Minnesota, since leaving California with my coaching work and my healing studies, that if there isn't any real tangible basis, meaning that your blood tests are all within the range, your scans, MRIs, etc., based on how good of an insurance policy that you have, aren't really producing any evidence, because this is evidence-based medicine. And there's a lot of pros and there's also some cons to that. If there's no evidence that in fact you have an actual diagnosis, a code, you might be offered antidepressants, right? And this has been the case for a great many of my clients who finally came in and said, I have exhausted all of my, patience with this system. There is something going on with me, and I really want to get in and prevent it. And I've heard about the work that you do, Karen. And there are coaches all over, and we are all different, just like there are, different doctors that see things through a different perspective or a different lens. Some of us are fresh out of coaching school. Some of us never went to coaching school. So let me explain. I began between 1965 and 1969 with my maternal grandmother showing me the tongue, the liver and spleen lines in the face, lip reading, and many, many other, including the gathering of urine and onto the sidewalk where the ants were in California, where I grew up in San Jose. And if they would be drawn to that, there would possibly be excess sugar. Nobody really learns like that anymore, except that there's starting to be this new interest with people to say, I don't think anyone's really getting healed anymore. They're all being treated. And I said, back in the 1980s, when I really began learning about what the diet, the nutrition, became a certified herbalist, learned about massage, and I started putting my medicine together as an adult beyond what I learned as a child, I really came to the realization that we were really drugging it, cutting it out, and killing it out of people. And we were using what I've been talking about for over 25 years now, which is battle axe language. In fact, if you drive past most of these billboards, you'll see, let's battle cancer. Let's conquer it. Get in and we'll destroy it. We'll annihilate it. We'll kill the cancer. We want you to fight this disease. Okay? And we understand why we say those things. It isn't that we don't all say them from time to time. Even I say them from time to time. But the work that I have learned to do over a lifetime as an elder shaman at 57, as a coach, we look to that as coaching today. Spending time together one-on-one in a personal, confidential, and intensive session, just like we're doing through the screen right now. You're watching me. We do this on a FaceTime or a Facebook video or another application where we could meet anywhere in the world. I am going to look towards, what do I see on your tongue? What do I see on the face, the lips, the earlobes? Okay. Is your hair prematurely gray? Is it thinning? Do you have a significant receding hairline? What kind of symptoms were you telling the doctor that you had? Because I'm not allowed, through the legal provisions that oversee everything today, to be able to give you legal, psychological, or medical advice. But I am allowed under the law to be able to say, this is what I would do. I've gone through this. And here's supplements that are over the counter that have really carried a substantial record, positive record for helping you. Here's a way that you could detoxify. Here's a way that you could change that situation. And then go back with your doctor and meet with your doctor if that's your wish, and see if the progress that you're making is actually really working for you. Now, let's say that I have a client with Parkinson's disease, and that person is in their mid-60s and was diagnosed maybe about 6 months ago. Is there hope for that person? Absolutely there is. And there's a difference between going on a dopamine type of a drug like Sinemet, using a sleeping aid like Klonopin, and using antidepressants to keep the person's affect up while they're experiencing polypharmacy, meaning many medications at one time, and actually finding the root cause, which is the shortening of the neurons, the effect of the neurotransmitters, the toxic microbiome or gut, your stomach, right? In fact, there's research that shows in medical abstracts and publications that definitively proves that Parkinson's disease actually begins in the gut, like almost everything else. Hippocrates knew this. Traditional Chinese medicine knows this. Ayurveda knows this. Dr. Sebi knows this. Professor Hilton Hotema and Professor Arnold Ehret know this. And I showed you on our thumbnail a book here that's a more recent edition that I bought in recent years called Prescription for Natural Cures. But if you have been raised in a way that all you ever knew was going in to see the doctor, and you never really had a guide or a mom, a dad, a grandparent like I did, starting in the early 60s, who showed you how your body was communicating with you. So anxiety is holding up the red flag. Depression is, very down pressed. Your body is communicating with you. Something needs to be changed. If you came in and you were raised on baby formula, lots of vaccinations, didn't get outside to play much, were kind of shuffled in the car all the time to sporting events, to daycare, to aftercare, and you did your life was very sedentary. Maybe you played a little bit of basketball or you went skiing once in a while, but your life was pretty significantly sedentary. It didn't involve a lot of walking every single day, where you'd really move the peristalsis of the body and cause a detoxification to occur for yourself. Then it would be very important to start those habits. But maybe you don't feel well enough to start those habits right now. Yeah. So with coaching one-on-one, you're motivated. We look at what's actually really behind this as a root cause. And instead of just treating, meaning overlaying your symptoms with some symptom relief, a drug, a surgery to cut it out for now. And there are times those are warranted and necessary for sure, and they're valued. Absolutely. But a large portion of the time, there's something we can do if only you knew. You knew what your body was communicating. Okay? So treating is to suppress the symptoms. Healing is to find the root cause. Now, sometimes you don't find the root cause in 1 or 2 or 10 or maybe 20 sessions. Maybe it's been down pressed and medicated and drink and smoke and vape, and it's been covered up for so long, like a dog or a cat when it goes into the litter box and it quickly covers over its bowel movement, right? If ours has been our symptoms, our lack of ease, what we call dis-ease, what I call lack of ease. There's a lack of ease first in the mind, then it starts to form in the body, right? And the symptoms get louder and louder and louder until pretty soon the medication doesn't work. And this is the reason why we're seeing so many suicides. This is the reason why we're seeing little babies born with issues, because our generations are becoming more and more depleted. Our environment is becoming more depleted. I have a lot of medicine that I will be bringing for you, speaking with you about our communication, our medicine, our healing, our sustainability. And I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that you will honor me and hit the subscribe button and show me that you want more. Tell your friends about it. I'm going to be bringing back what I call original medicine, which means that I've combined the old ways from maternal grandma along with a deep understanding of what's going on with our environment today that needs to be considered and factored in, along with, bless up, Kim, along with a great deal of experience, thousands of hours per year. So healing is covering up the symptoms, making people feel better. Sometimes we need that. I'll never forget that I had a hatchback hit me on the head, on the top of my head, several years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. And the pain was so excruciating that I went in and I said, you can check my file. I've never asked for this before, but I really, really do need a pain medication right now. I cannot handle the pain another second. And you know what? I had a situation where I was helping someone far above and beyond what I really should have continued doing, and they were a pain in the neck. And so when you work with a coach that is a shaman, a real shaman, that person will help you explore through deep level mind body medicine, through your habits, your diet, detoxification, herbs, and make it so that it's comfortable for you, because it's not my plan. And I've learned over many decades, it needs to be your plan. It needs to be something you want to do. So if you're like, I don't care how bad it tastes or what it is or how severe it sounds, I need to get over this like right now, then that's what we'll do. And if you say, well, I'm still going to eat XYZ, but I really want to get as healthy as possible, then that's what we'll do. I work for you. And that's why I'm still working today, all these years later, is because I work for you and I get your results. So this was a live stream about healing versus treating. If you didn't see the whole thing, I'd encourage you to go back and listen. And if you have any questions, you can write them down below once I'm even off the air, or it's been months or a year. I'll answer any that I'm able to. My website is naturallywithkaren.com. I do offer hair tissue mineral analysis, which is wonderful for checking your mineral levels and heavy metals. And I really offer a full package to help you to heal and not just treat, including helping you to research about some of these medications and make sure that that's exactly what you want to do. Because sometimes people are so caught up in, the pain and the frustration and needing to take the time out to heal, that they really need someone who's going to advocate for them with, a high degree of being able to trust that person. So have a wonderful night. I look forward to seeing you soon.